The Victorian era is often remembered as elegant and refined. Beautiful dresses, candlelit homes, and strict manners. But behind that polished image, Victorian life could be strange and sometimes disturbing. Some traditions from the 1800s are so unusual that they almost sound fictional. But they were very real. Here are 10 disturbing Victorian traditions that actually existed. In the Victorian era, photography was expensive and rare. Many families never had the chance to take photographs while loved ones were alive. So when someone died, families would sometimes hire photographers to capture one final portrait. The deceased person was carefully positioned to look peaceful, sometimes even seated with family members. These photographs were meant to preserve the memory of someone who had passed away. Today, they may seem unsettling, but to Victorians, they were acts of love and remembrance. 2. Fear of being buried alive. One of the greatest fears during the Victorian era was premature burial. Medical science was not as advanced as it is today, and sometimes people were declared dead while they were actually unconscious. Because of this fear, inventors created something called a safety coffin. These coffins included bells, air tubes, and escape mechanisms. If someone woke up underground, they could signal for help. Some wealthy Victorians even kept practice coffins beside their beds. 3. Arsenic wallpaper. Victorian homes were often decorated with beautiful green wallpaper. The color was called Shields green, but what many people didn't know was that this vibrant pigment contained arsenic, a deadly poison. When the wallpaper became damp, it could release toxic fumes into the air. Over time, families living in these homes could slowly become sick without realizing why. 4. Hair jewelry. During the Victorian era, people often kept locks of hair from loved ones, but some took this tradition even further. Hair was woven into intricate jewelry such as rings, necklaces, and brooches. These pieces were often worn as memorials for those who had passed away. To Victorians, it was a sentimental way to keep loved ones close. 5. Strict mourning rules. Victorian society had extremely strict rules about mourning. When someone lost a spouse, they were expected to wear black clothing for long periods of time. Widows sometimes remained in mourning for 2 years or more. Even accessories, jewelry, and social activities were restricted during this period. 6. Leech therapy. Medical practices in the Victorian era could be very unusual. Doctors often used leeches as a treatment for many illnesses. Thousands of leeches were used in hospitals and clinics. They were believed to remove bad blood from the body. 7. Photography headstands. Early cameras required long exposure times. People had to sit perfectly still for several seconds to avoid blurry photos. To help with this, photographers sometimes used metal stands behind the subject's head. These stands helped keep people motionless during portraits. 8. Child chimney sweeps. One of the darker aspects of Victorian life involved child labor. Small children were often forced to climb inside chimneys to clean them. These narrow spaces were dangerous and filled with soot. Many children suffered injuries or long-term health problems. 9. Arsenic beauty products. Victorian beauty standards valued pale skin. To achieve this look, some people used beauty products containing arsenic. These powders and tonics were marketed as skin treatments, but prolonged use could cause serious illness. 10. Eating mummies. One of the strangest Victorian practices involved ancient Egyptian mummies. During the 19th century, powdered mummy was sometimes sold as medicine. Some people believed it could cure illnesses. Others even held social events where mummies were unwrapped for entertainment. The Victorian era may look elegant in paintings and photographs, but everyday life was filled with strange customs and surprising beliefs.